Welcome to Movie House Cinemas. Popcorn? Yes, please. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the movie. Reclining chairs? Don't mind if I do. Action, thriller, romance, we got it all. Discover the cinema today. Movie House Cinemas, home of the movies.
Good evening, and welcome along to Robin Elliott Tonight, one of Northern Ireland's longest running chat shows. Good to have your company with us once again, and what a lineup we have for you tonight. I'll be chatting to best-selling crime author Peter James. He's going to be telling us about his new Roy Grace novel. We'll also have the winner of The Voice from 10 years ago, Andrea Begley, will be joining us in the studio. We'll find out about this year's Cinemagic Film Festival. And we'll be finding out about a brand new entertainment app called Roam NI, plus music from Empty Spaces as well. Okay, but starting off the show this evening, let's do the big talking points of the week. To help us do it, once again, we're joined by the very lovely Kim Kelly. How are you?
I've started giggling already. I don't know, I just started giggling already. Just whenever you started talking, I just started giggling. I feel like I'm back at school.
Yeah, you are very giggly today, but that's because we know what the first story is coming up on the list, and it's all about sharing or renting your bed. How does it work?
There's a cost of living crisis on people. We all know that. Would you consider renting out your bed?
It depends who was renting it.
Well, you don't really get any choice. So this lady from Australia is a blogger and she broke up with her boyfriend. It was COVID, you know, the usual. So she thought, times are hard. I don't really have much to give, but I'm going to rent out the other side of my bed. She reckons she can make 800 Australian dollars a month renting out the other side of her bed.
Right, now, what kind of people has she got coming to do this?
The mind boggles.
It does, doesn't it?
Now, she, of course, is playing this down and saying, oh, they're lovely people. I imagine she vets it a bit like Airbnb.
Yes.
Now, I don't know how it works. Like, do you put pillows down the middle, like whenever you used to have to share the bed with your brothers or sisters,
you know? Have to,
or, you know, what are the rules? What do you wear? But it does lead on to a more serious issue of the cost of living crisis, what people are doing.
Yes, but I can get it if somebody rents out a room in their house. That's different. That's fine.
But do you remember whenever we were younger, which, let's face it, wasn't today or yesterday, and you had to go to college, say, in Dublin, you shared a room with somebody.
Yes, but not a bed.
I
don't know about you, maybe you did. But,
no. But I have seen on that, you know that website, daft.ie?
Yes, yes.
And have you ever just fiddled about on it? That's the site that shows property in Dublin. It goes right up to millions of pounds. But if you put in the absolute lowest amount of money, goodness me, it's an eye-opener. You basically are sharing a bed with somebody in Dublin 24.
I can believe that, yes.
A damp mattress with somebody.
No.
It's bad, isn't it?
So would you let somebody into your bed then who you didn't know?
No. No. Although, to be honest, I probably could do it because I'm a very heavy sleeper.
Right, okay.
Like one night over the weekend there, I think I slept for 17 hours.
Really?
Yeah, I'm really good at sleeping.
Excellent.
I think I might have that, what do you call it, narcolepsy? I probably don't have it.
I shouldn't laugh in case anybody watching does have that.
I don't have it, but I just am incredibly sleepy.
Yeah.
Is it just me?
I don't know.
You're always out and about.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm like, tired.
I did a full week last week of out and about.
I love that. I did a full week. Most of the people watching us do a full week, I would imagine.
So anyway, anybody out there who's thinking about renting their bed out to somebody, get in touch. And if you have done it, let us know how it went. Yes.
It's certainly an idea for money saving, actually, which leads me on nicely to being ripped off from Italy, all the way from Italy. I found the biggest rip off. Somebody was charged €1 for an extra spoon for an ice cream. Isn't that the meanest thing you've ever heard?
That's crazy.
You wouldn't get that in Port Stewart prom, would you?
No, you wouldn't.
So this was in northern Italy. Somebody was charged €7 for a big ice cream and €1 for an extra spoon. Hot on the heels of somebody having a sandwich and being charged €2 to cut it in half.
That is crazy.
And somebody ordered a plate of pasta and they asked for an extra plate, you know, for their toddler. €2.
That's crazy.
People are so mean.
They are, aren't they? Anyway, Big Brother's coming back. That's something to look forward to.
Well, is it? Do you like Big Brother? So Big Brother's coming back. It's coming back to ITV and ITV2. So it's going to be the Love Island crowd.
It is, yeah.
And it's coming back on October the 8th with 2 new presenters. They're young people. You wouldn't know them. I tried out their names and them earlier on. I'm like, hey,
that's all
okay,
right,
so the 2 young trendy people. It's been 5 years since it's been on. It was in 2018. It was axed off Channel 5. It had got a bit dreary.
It had, yes, yeah.
Channel 5 was never really a natural home for it. I never really liked it on Channel 5.
No. Whatever happened to Tyrone Tom from the very first
Do you know,
ever?
I saw a picture of him on the story that I read.
Did you?
I saw a picture. He moved to Spain.
Yes.
Is he still there?
I don't know. I
Tyrone
haven't seen
Tom,
him in
are you
years.
watching? Where are you?
Let's get him on then.
And who else was from Northern Ireland? The lovely Orla McAllister,
Orla
who got
McAllister
married
was
recently.
in it. Yes, and Ashley was in it as
Ashley,
well.
of course,
Ashley
who's now
Coyle,
on Downtown Radio.
Yes, and there's something exciting that me and Ashley are doing very soon as well, but I can't talk about it. But you'll be the first to know about it.
Ashley's lovely.
She
yes.
is lovely.
Who else from Northern Ireland?
Who else was
Shawnee from Dungiven.
Yes, remember.
Something about, did he go into politics?
He's in.
Did I imagine that?
He's in London, I think.
Is he?
Yes, he used to keep in touch with me.
Did he?
He did.
Was there anybody else from
I
Northern
knew him
Ireland?
quite well.
I really hope there's local people because it's so much better.
It makes
we
it
have
so
local
good for us
people.
to get local people in.
And
really
I
does.
hope it's not just a load of like girls from Essex who want to be famous.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with Essex, but it's so staged.
Yeah.
I love it when it's real people, older people, people who aren't like glamour models. Bring back the real people to
Yes.
Big Brother because the first one was terrific.
It was.
The first 10 were
first
probably
10
really
were
good.
good. Yeah, they were.
And then it got so predictable and everyone got so nasty.
Yeah,
Bring back wholesome Big Brother.
indeed.
Would you ever think about going on Big Brother?
Of course I did.
I think I applied when I was a student. I didn't get on. And I'm quite glad I didn't now, on hindsight.
Yeah.
I don't know if it had been for me.
But did you know I had the first podcast ever?
Did you?
It was a Big Brother podcast, way back in the day. If you cast your mind back to nearly at the beginning,
Yes.
and I had a little column in the Sun newspaper where I talked about Big Brother. I had
Yes.
the world's first podcast where they put clips of me on the radio talking about Big Brother.
Whenever nobody knew what a podcast was. Funny,
Nobody
I
knew
was
what it was,
talking
yes.
about this the other day. I did my first podcast in 2005. That's nearly 20 years ago for Virgin Radio.
Yeah.
We were ahead of the time.
We were ahead of the time, ahead of the time. So Big Brother is back on the 8th of October. Should we do one more?
Yes.
What are we going? Annoying songs.
Annoying songs. So there's been a survey by Rolling Stone magazine and the New York Post of the most annoying songs ever. Now, in this top 10, there are things like Who Let the Dogs Out?
Right, okay.
What else do you think would be in that?
Do you know, for me, and you're going to probably hate me for saying this, but I cannot stand anything by the Lighthouse Family.
Oh, they're dreadful. No.
I
'cause
can't stand nearly everything by Celine Dion.
She's in the top 10. My
Yes.
heart will go on. I love Celine Dion.
Awful. Who else would be in my top as well? A lot of Coldplay.
Oh.
I don't get
Really?
Coldplay, yeah.
Okay, the top 3.
Yeah.
In reverse order. USA for Africa, We Are the World.
Great song.
We are the world. No, it's dreary. Like our one was really good. The English one was really good.
Did you know it's Christmas? Yeah.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
And then We Are the World, it was so copycat derivative, no?
I
No?
quite liked it.
Okay. Second, Black Eyed Peas, My Lady Lumps. My humps, my lovely lady lumps.
It's just your playlist is this top 10,
I hope
isn't
that
it?
my 15-year-old son's not watching that. Could you imagine how embarrassing that would just have been for him? He'd be right under the sofa by now, wouldn't he?
Let's watch it again. Give it again, go.
My humps, my lovely lady lumps.
Fabulous. So what the guys behind the scenes are going to do now, they're going to take that and make that into one of those wee gift things.
Will you? Okay, so the number 1 worst song ever, I don't actually believe, Starship, We Built This City.
Rubbish. What a fabulous
It's
song.
an alright song.
Bernie Taupin wrote that song. And look at the hits he's written over the years with Elton.
That's a decent song. Well,
That's a great song.
that's what they say.
I can't believe that.
Well, there you go. It's true.
Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. I don't believe that. I'm quite shocked by that.
Do you want me to sing Lady Lumps again?
Go on. Anyway, we'll move on to somebody who can sing now, Andrea Begley.
She can only sing a little bit better than me. Like,
Do you think so?
not
Can you
much.
believe it's 10 years
It's mad, isn't it?
since she's won The Voice?
It's mad, isn't it?
She's coming on next. We're going to play one of her songs now. Here she is with Beyond the Rainbow's End. Here's Andrea Begley.
I have gone from sight, but I'm waiting just beyond the rainbow's end. I'm happy in this place that I have come to, because I'm here with my forever friend. Now all your thoughts of me, may they be joyful, of things we've done and happy times we've shared. Don't be sad, dear ones, because I've left you. Please laugh and talk of me as if I'm there. Just look up to the sky and the sunshine, the mist that rises on a summer's morn, the gentle breeze that cools the autumn evening. When the birds sing in the trees, I am their song. This journey that I've made, one day you'll make it. You too will be with my forever friend. It's then once more we will be together. I'll meet you just beyond the rainbow's end. It's then once more we will be together. I'll meet you just beyond the rainbow's end. Yes, I'm waiting just beyond the rainbow's end.
So there we go, that's Andrea Begley with a track called Beyond the Rainbow's End. We'll be chatting to Andrea herself right after these.
Heading to the North Coast, the Jet Centre in Coleraine offers entertainment for everyone. There's an 8-screen movie house cinema with all the best movies, 10-pin bowling, a massive arcade, soft play for the wee ones. Outdoors, there's a mini fun park and gem mining, plus an 18-hole floodlit mini golf course. Rain or shine, there's something for everyone here at the Jet Centre. Find out more at thejetcentre.co.uk.
And welcome back to Robin Elliott Tonight. Now, we'll have another song from Andrea Begley in a few minutes, but here's what happened when I caught up with her earlier this week. Okay, my next guest, you will all remember her from being the winner of The Voice. I've just been reminded that it's 10 years since that big day. I can't believe where the year's gone. But let's find out more because Andrea Begley joins us. How are you?
I'm very well, Robin. Thank you.
10 years?
Well.
Where has the time gone?
I do not know. 10 years. It just feels like it does feel like 10 years, but in other ways, it just feels like yesterday. It's hard to believe. Yeah.
Tell us about the whole experience about doing The Voice. I mean, obviously, you're glad it's something you did.
Oh yeah, no, I had a fantastic time doing the show. I really did. It was definitely intense at the time, and it's probably only now, looking back, that you really appreciate just all the great opportunities that I had, you know, both the coaches and, you know, just getting the opportunity to network with so many people from the music industry, and just the building of confidence as well, I suppose, in terms of performance. It's not every Saturday night you get to perform to millions of people on the TV.
So remind us who the judges were on your show then.
So back then it was Jessie J, Danny O'Donoghue, will.i.am, and of course Sir Tom Jones.
Wow.
So yeah, a great lineup for sure.
Exactly. So what about going on the show? I mean, obviously you had to audition to get on. What was that whole process like?
It was quite, yeah, again, pretty intense, but really enjoyable as well. You got to meet lots of different people from all over the UK who all had a real passion for music and performance. So the way it happened was you were initially invited to meet some of the production team and do an initial audition, I suppose, in your local town. So in my case, it was in Belfast. And I turned up, would you believe, Robin, 12 hours late for my for my audition. I misread the time on the email.
Right.
So rather than like 8:30 in the evening, it was obviously 8:30 in the morning.
Right.
And just as I turned up, the whole crew were getting ready to leave and go for their lunch, or sorry, their dinner. And I thought, oh goodness, well, I've missed my chance. That was my mistake. Sure, what, you know, it's just one of those things. But luckily enough, they were very patient. They said, you know, look, we'd still like to speak to you. Would you mind? And, you know, they recorded something on their phone. And I thought, oh, goodness, they're just sort of being nice to me here. And I'll never hear anything more. But yeah, lo and behold, a few weeks later, I found myself singing in London at another round. And then eventually in front of the coaches in Manchester.
Wow.
The December of 2012, would you believe?
So when you made it onto the show then, the cameras are rolling, when did you discover, I'm actually going quite far in this competition? Did you know there was a chance you could win it early on?
No, absolutely not. I think I would be totally lying if I said that. I mean, I was surrounded with people on the programme who were, you know, leads in West End shows and like seasoned performers. And I'd done a bit of performance and a little bit of recording, but I was very much a novice in comparison to a lot of the others. So certainly for me, I suppose maybe as I got through the first few rounds, I thought, oh, this is looking a lot more promising than I initially thought. But I honestly didn't think it would come to even being in the final, never mind being the winner. So it was a big shock to me, it definitely was.
Take us back to that night then, the final night. What do you remember?
So sort of, I do remember on the day of the final feeling a little bit under the weather. I thought, oh goodness, I'm getting a bit of a sore throat here. It was probably all the really like late nights of filming and the early mornings and everything, and probably a bit of nerves as well into the bargain. But yeah, I couldn't quite believe when we got to the final. I was like, right, I've just got to give up this one last boost. And on the night, I think the adrenaline really kicked in, and my main aim really was to just enjoy the performance, give it my all, and, you know, just see what happens. Like I had no real expectation beyond that. So whenever I stood at the end and Holly announced my name, I was totally in shock. I really was. So no, and it was a great night, and we had a great party after and everything. It was just really just such a surreal experience.
I always remember here in Northern Ireland as well. I mean, the whole country got behind you. I mean, obviously, we knew your aunt, we knew Philomena as well. So, I mean, that kind of got everybody behind you as well. But it was an amazing atmosphere here as well.
It was, yeah. Oh, I remember at the time, you know, obviously hearing from things, people back home in my own hometown in Pomeroy and in Belfast and everything, all the support I had from the folks back home. And I remember thinking, I'd actually love to be at home now just to get the atmosphere. But yeah, no, they were great. They were really supportive to me. And, you know, up to this day, I still get people stopping me and saying, oh, you're the girl from The Voice. And, you know, really, really pleasant. And people from home were just very supportive of their own anyway, you know. So it was really lovely to have that as well. What
about the Queen, Philomena? Did she give you any advice?
Well, she was there at the final as well, so they're lending support, moral support, and no, it was great to have her there as well. It was very special too, and since then, obviously, we've done a few tours together, and Auntie Philly I really do look up to her as such an icon in the music business, and the fact that she celebrated 60 years last year, and my goodness, 10 years pales into insignificance in comparison. I'm only a baby starting at this stage, Robin, so I have a long way to go to follow in those footsteps, but you know, certainly footsteps that you'd be more than happy to follow in. So.
I know, as I said recently when I was presenting her with one of the Lifetime Achievement Awards, and they keep bringing me out to give her, I said she's more than an icon. She's a national treasure now, really. It's a shame.
Oh no, absolutely. And just the energy that she has. Yeah. I wish she could just bottle it and sell it to me. I really do, yeah.
Tommy's been driving many's a year, always parked on Main Street, never had a fear. But suddenly the news, it's been going round, gonna be a traffic warden coming to the town. It's pay and display, pay and display. If you don't buy a ticket, they'll put you away. It's pay and display, pay and display. If you don't buy a ticket, they'll put you away. Damn the bit I care. Tom did loudly swear, oh, I'll just leave the car. I won't be going far, but when he did return, how his face did burn, for there upon his screen, what an awful scene. It's pay and display, pay and display. If you don't buy a ticket, they'll put you away. It's pay and display, pay and display. If you don't buy a ticket, you'll hear the warden say, oh, na na, na 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 na. I'm awfully sorry, sir, but you're not parking here. A ticket's what you need. There's a sign, can't you read? But if you pay the fine, I'll be gone in double time. And well, you'll shout and roar, but you cannot ignore it's pay and display, pay and display. If you don't buy a ticket, they'll put you away. Oh, pay and display, pay and display. If you don't buy a ticket, you'll hear the warden say, oh, na na, na 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 na, na 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 pay and display.
So after The Voice, I mean, things really took off for you. The album was a big success and you found yourself everywhere. I mean, that must have been a great whirlwind at that time.
It was. It was those first couple of years were really brilliant, just great experiences. Again, getting the opportunity to perform on Strictly, to perform out in China, in Windsor Castle, you know, just such wonderful experiences. And yeah, no, it really was. And the album, even just the whole process of doing it up to that point, I'd done precious little recording, really. So going through the whole picking out of songs and putting a few of my own songs on it and just deciding what to do then beyond that as well. It's definitely been great and a big learning curve as well. So I'm still learning very much.
So what's next for you then? Any exciting things in the pipeline? I know you've got the gig coming up in the Burnavon.
That's right. So obviously this year, 10 years, and I've got more recording planned as well. I've been doing some more writing, so hopefully a few new original numbers coming soon, and the concert coming up now to celebrate 10 years. But yes, there'll be a few more things in the pipeline, a few more live performances towards the end of this year, and I suppose people can keep a watch out on the old social media for any updates. I'm always pretty active on there. Indeed.
Tell us about the date then for the Burnavon.
So it's the 7th of October. 7th of October in the Burnavon Theatre in Cookstown, and it's going to be myself with my Aunt Philomena as the special guest as well.
That's going to be a pretty special night.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it. I really am, and just being there with the home crowd and telling a few stories maybe about my time on the show, a few behind the scenes stories, and having a bit of fun as well. So, and no doubt Auntie Philly will have a few yarns to tell as well.
I'm sure she will. Well, it sounds like a fabulous night. The best of luck with that. And we look forward to hearing your new material soon as well.
Thank you, Robin. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
It always seems like they're on your back. trust them to remind you. Oh, all that they say you like, but they won't define you. Just keep on keeping on. Gotta let it slide. Keep on keeping on. In good time, watch those problems pass you by. Keep on keeping on till the day you. Another trial, another test, just sent to find you. So dig in and do your best, and they won't deny you. Just keep on keeping on. Gotta let it slide. Keep on keeping on. In good time, watch those problems pass you by. Keep on keeping on till the day you. Keep on keeping on. 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 Gotta let it slide. Keep on keeping on. In good time, watch those problems pass you by. Keep on keeping on till the day you.
So that's a track called Keep On Keeping On from Andrea Begley. Now, still to come on the show this evening, I'll be chatting to best-selling crime author Peter James. He's going to be telling us about his new Roy Grace novel, and we'll find out about this year's Cinemagic Film Festival right after these.
Here we are on the north coast, where sporting legends are made. He needs this putt to advance to the next stage, but can he do it? The crowd are holding their breath. Can he cope with the pressure?
Dad, would you take the shot?
Well, And welcome back to Robin Elliott Tonight. Now we're talking movies and some very exciting stuff happening in this year's Cinemagic Festival. 34 years it's been running, can you believe that? Let's find out more because as always it's good to see Claire from Cinemagic. How are you?
Good, thank you, Robin.
That
yes.
time of year again already.
It's incredible how it just creeps up on you every year, and yes, number 34, so incredible, and we're so excited to present the 34th festival.
It's scary that I remember number 1 as well.
That's incredible.
Isn't
it is.
Again, it's a packed programme. I mean, you come out with so much every year and it seems to get bigger and bigger every year. year. I just opened there, and the first thing that I see is the Moomins. Now, for a lot of people of my age will remember watching these on TV back in the 80s, but they're back again, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, the Finnish production of the Moomins, you know, through the books and through the TV shows and now through films, really do sort of spark an interest among all generations. So, you know, grannies, mummies, daddies, children, all can, you know, the nostalgia factor is there for the older audiences.
Yeah.
And we've a director of one of the Moomin films coming over to talk about working on the sort of beloved works of the Moomins because they've been around for so long.
Exactly.
So he's going to talk about making the, you know, the film side of things and then get involved with a workshop in storyboarding and sort of bringing all that to life for young people.
Now, I talked about young people. Matilda is something the kids all love, and you've got a pretty special event happening, haven't you?
We do indeed. On the 14th of October, we are delighted to welcome Alicia Weir to Cinemagic and also Misha Garbett. So Alicia, who played Matilda in Roald Dahl's Matilda musical, and then Misha as well, who everyone knows the character of the Red Berry Girl.
Yeah.
So it'll be lovely, you know, because they're young, you know, they're like 12, 15, and they'll be at Cinemagic to talk to young people about getting involved in film and TV, and, you know, for young people that are aspiring to work in the industry, you know, it's going to be a real treat to hear about the movie, how it was made and their role and how they got involved in it.
For anybody who wants to know about the weather as well, you've got Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, a special guest appearing in this one as well, haven't you?
We do. BBC's Jeff Maskell is getting on board with us to really just talk all about the weather, working as a weather presenter, looking at things like climate change and sustainability, and, you know, the fun movie of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, but then that nice educational aspect to it as well, to sort of bring that role to life and see what it's like being a weather forecast presenter.
Now, we all love Wallace and Gromit, and Aardman Animations have been part of Cinemagic for as long as I can remember now.
Indeed, and I think maybe last year, the year before, Aardman were 30 years old, so we've had a real long-standing relationship with Aardman, and over the years we've shown many of their short films and features and model-making workshops as well that really let young people get their, you know, get hands-on and see behind the scenes of what goes involved in producing animated films.
Now, as always, the guests who feel coming to do the workshops are pretty special. Everybody has been obsessed with An Irish Goodbye, and rightly so, because it's been the movie or the short film of the year, and Ross White's doing something, isn't he?
He is, and we're delighted that Ross, the triple award winner with the IFTA, the BAFTA and the Academy Award, and again, Ross is young, you know, so it's nice for young people, you know, in their late teens, early 20s to have somebody who is young to aspire to and to sort of find out about his role in creating short films, and now he's got a feature film under his belt, so it'll be a lovely way to sort of hear that journey from him about getting involved in short film making, going to the Oscars, all of that inside info, but just the hard graft that's involved in sort of short film and feature film making as well.
Dermot O'Leary, he's been somebody who supported Cinemagic for many years as well.
Many years. In fact, this is his 20th year of being a patron for Cinemagic, at least 20. So he has actually sort of got a few of his friends in the industry on board to come to Cinemagic this year, really to sort of help share in his ethos of Cinemagic, and he really aspires to our ethos in relation to nurturing young talent and giving those young people behind the scenes access and opening, you know, to the industry. So he is coming over. He also is bringing a cinematographer called Mark Nutkins, Ivor Badil, who is a great pal of his who works in TV and live events script writing, is going to be coming to Belfast to also share an insight to his role and how young people who want to get into the industry can sort of get involved, and even just to find out about what roles exist, because everyone knows what directors do, what producers do, but there are so many other behind the scenes roles involved in film and TV.
Tell us about the critics panel as well, because that's always something very good, isn't it?
Really good fun, yeah, and it's something that, you know, from age 5 right up to 25, young people who are passionate about movies can be on the official film jury. So they're actually selecting the winning films of the festival in a number of categories. They're watching world cinema, international movies, and debating and discussing them, and then choosing the winning films of the festival.
Brilliant. Let's choose one more highlight. What should we go for?
Well, we are delighted that this year our keynote in conversation event is with a BAFTA and Oscar winning producer called David Parfitt. He's worked on a multitude of films over the years, and he is going to give young people that insight to the role of a producer, all of the different movies he's worked on. He's worked on Shakespeare in Love, he's worked on a lot of TV projects as well, and it'll just be brilliant to hear from somebody with so much experience in the film industry and coming to Belfast really to share that with audiences here at the Strand Cinema.
Brilliant. So again, it's a full packed programme running for most of October, doesn't it?
All of October right through, and then culminating in the Young Filmmaker Weekend and a lot of Halloween movies then as well to finish off October.
Brilliant. Well, if people want to book their tickets and get some more info, where do they go to for that?
If they go to cinemagic.org.uk.
Brilliant. Claire, good to see you as always. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Robin.
Okay, time now to find out about a fabulous entertainment app, which we had a fabulous launch party at the Treehouse at AM/PM here in Belfast recently. We're talking about Roam NI. To tell us more, here's what happened when I caught up with their CEO, Andrew Bartlett. Okay, time now to find out about something that's good for Belfast, good for Northern Ireland. It's a brand new app that's going to bring all kinds of businesses together, restaurants, entertainment venues. In fact, to tell you more, let's talk to the main man behind it, because Andy's here with us in the studio. How are you?
Extremely pleased to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. So we're talking about this new Roam Local app. First of all, tell us what exactly the app is. How does it work?
Yeah, so in its simplest form, it's a tourism platform. We promote all all the best bars, restaurants, museums, galleries. It's a digital high street, effectively, but it takes it a step further. It allows the users, the general public, to create plans, share recommendations, find friends on the friend finder, really coordinate what's happening, where to go, and that communication piece to the local businesses within Belfast and across Northern Ireland, where they can find out all the latest news, offers, events, deals, discounts, you name it. We're your one-stop sort of shop for all things happening in Belfast and across Northern Ireland.
So as well as all the benefits for the people who are using this as well, there is a lot of benefits for the businesses who are getting involved too.
Massive push for businesses. Like I say, we're promoting every local business, really emphasise on the local. We are their platform. It's our job to promote them and really help them engage with the community, whether they be local visitors or tourists.
Brilliant. So already the business has been up and running for 18 months now, and things are going really well. We had a big celebration recently, but 18 months in business and it's going well, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it feels like yesterday just Ellen was on here,
yeah,
giving a little bit of an intro to you way back. But 18 months on now, we're supporting over 50,000 local businesses across Northern Ireland, over 150,000 downloads, and we've seen over 15 million, we call them impressions, which is people tapping into local businesses to see what they're about and why they shouldn't go and visit.
One of the fascinating things that I find about the app as well is the bit you can share with your friends. So say you're having a night out in the town and you lose somebody, and you're thinking, where the hell are they? You can easily find them by this app as well, can't you?
For sure. It depends which perspective you take. Whether you're a student and your family are trying to keep tabs on you, I'm not too sure how they would view it. But yeah, very much we create these safe bubbles, these safe groups, which allow groups of, it's Freshers Week here in Belfast here, so let's take them as an example. The students, they can create a group, they can go out, experience, commute, and it puts them in this safe bubble. But should someone sort of deviate from the plan, get lost, or something worse, more significant happen, it allows everyone in that group to be able to sort of, just stand to attention.
Yeah.
Where are we? What do we need to do next? Can we get in touch? Can we see them on the friend finder? What's next sort of steps after that? Half the time, nothing much has happened, but it's always nice to be safe and sure, isn't it?
Exactly. Now, as well as this show's going out throughout the whole of the UK and Ireland at the moment as well. So for visitors to Belfast, the first thing they should really do when they step off that plane is download the app, because if they want to know what restaurant, where am I going to get a bargain meal tonight, whatever, just go straight on the app.
100%, and it's all based on their own preferences as well. and you can, you could pick that up and drop that into any town or city across Northern Ireland. Even if you go into the Republic of, you can take it there as well. So it really is tailoring the experience to your individual preferences and interests, but then really emphasizing that on a local basis.
Tell us about your background as well, because it's very interesting. You're CEO of this company, but apps wasn't really your thing, was it?
It wasn't, but digital has always been an interest of mine. But for everyone viewing, I used to race horses.
Yeah.
Very random. Racing horses to now digital entrepreneur. So yeah, I did 6 years racing horses all over the place. And, during that time I did incorporate Rome local. And, it was a very steady build, but I did 6 seasons, and believe it or not, that's a really good stint in the racing world. I did that from the age of 15.
Wow.
So by the time I was about 20, I was already asking myself these questions like, well, where do you see yourself in 5 years from now, kind of thing. And for me, I wanted to move with the times. As much as I enjoyed the racing, as much as I learned from the racing industry, the fast-paced and everything else, that's the ins and outs of it, I really wanted to go with the times and just dive into my other interests. Also, for your own knowledge, I mean, I've broken almost every bone in my body, both my legs, vertebrae damage in the neck, so I've been laid up a lot on the sick bed. So I've had time to dive in and self-educate using silly things like YouTube and all this kind of stuff to sort of self-educate myself on how to do these things.
What about the injuries? Were any of them life-threatening at the time?
Not life-threatening, but they put you up. Both this knee and this ankle, and both of those were a 6-month period of being laid up. They were bad, but they weren't life-threatening.
Yeah.
The worst one I had was definitely probably my neck damage, but again, that was basically I came off horse and speared the ground, hard ground, crunched my neck, and yeah, that was quite bad. But again, was it life-threatening? Probably not. Could I have been in a wheelchair next time? Probably. So it's one of them.
And have you got back on a horse since?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I would, if that happened to me, I would go, no, I'm never getting back on one again.
So after I did my neck, I was on the horse the next day. Yeah, with whiplash, couldn't move much at all. But I think 3 damaged vertebrae in my neck. I couldn't look left, couldn't look right, but I could go straight on. So that's what I did, just got on and stay true.
Coming back to Rome Local, what's the kind of long-term plans for this then? What do you hope?
Long term, we're going to be this global tourism platform that really emphasises on the true backbone of our local economies, which is the local businesses. It's that communication piece between local business, albeit the bar, the restaurant, the museum, whatever it may be, to the community and the end user. And ultimately, to provide a transparent and fair platform to be able to have this engagement and communication between. We come at it from a very fair playing field. One of our strap lines is about basically making it so local businesses having the ability to actually tap into this kind of technology, because what you see, app technology, local businesses just don't have the knowledge, the resources to be able to tap into this space.
Yes, yeah.
But you see, if you look at the likes of these big retailers and the TK Maxx's, the McDonald's, the Burger Kings and whatnot, they're heavily investing into their tech, into their apps, because they understand the power of creating that community. So what we want to deliver is this hyper-local vision of ours to provide app technology to every local business on an even playing ground where they can all engage and communicate, but then scale that up on a global. We have a global appetite to scale that up and continue rolling it out.
So for businesses in Belfast at the moment who might want to get involved, it's as easy as going onto the app and basically claiming your business, because they're all listed on there already, aren't they?
That's it, pre-populated with over 50,000 local businesses across Northern Ireland, probably more since I last checked. And it is just as simple as going to our website, which is rome-local.co.uk, follow the buttons for business, and then you can claim it from there. It takes about 90 seconds from start to finish.
Brilliant. And for people who want to use the app as well, it's available from the app stores, isn't it?
Absolutely. Free to download from the app stores, both Android and iOS. And stay tuned because we've got some big updates coming in the next couple of weeks.
Brilliant. Well, we're going to hear a lot more on this show because you're getting involved in this show as well, which we're very grateful. But in the meantime, Andy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's been great. Cheers.
Right, still to come, some music from Empty Spaces ahead of their Belfast gig, and we'll be chatting to best-selling crime author Peter James all about his new novel, Stop Them Dead. We'll meet Peter right after these.
Let the good times roll at Super Strikes at the Jet Centre. You can now book your lane online. We've got 14 bowling lanes and 4 mini bowling lanes. Plus we serve delicious hot food and snacks, or enjoy a cold beverage with your food after the game. Discover bowling today at the Jet Centre. Jet Centre, entertainment for everyone.
And welcome back to Robin Elliott Tonight. Now, best-selling crime author Peter James is back with a new Roy Grace novel called Stop Them Dead. And I'm pleased to say that Peter joins us now on the line. How are you today?
I'm very good, thank you, really good.
So tell us about the new Roy Grace novel. This time around, we're into the world of illegal dog trading, aren't we?
We are. If I can start with a caveat for all my listeners out there who are big dog lovers. I am a big dog lover too. I have not harmed any dog in the book. There's nothing I've harmed plenty of dog villains, but I would never hurt a dog in description in a book. Stop Them Dead. The whole story began when I was reading a piece in the local Brighton paper, The Argus, about 2.5 years ago, and it was a woman walking her Springer Spaniel breeding bitch who was mugged for a dog. You know, people are mugged for their watches, for their handbags, but for a dog. And then I read that the dog was worth £5,000, and I discovered that the price of dogs during lockdown, everybody suddenly wanted a lockdown dog, went up 10 times. And that dog it could have bought £300 to £500 before lockdown was now trading £3,000 to £5,000 plus. And I thought, as a dog lover myself, what a heartbreak that would be, because if you're mugged for your watch or whatever, it's a horrible experience, but you claim insurance, you get the money, buy something else. A dog is part of your heart and soul. It's part of your family. And I just couldn't imagine the heartbreak that I would feel if that happened to me or it happened to my wife. And that was the starting point. And then I met the Chief Constable of Sussex. And she said to me, dog crime has gone insane around the UK. The organized crime gangs are now making more money out of dogs than drugs. And it still continues today after lockdown. And she gave me one shocking example, which was a particular shade of color. Blue French bulldogs were a big fashion accessory for a lot of A-list celebs. So if you want a particular shade of color, breeding bitch, Blue French bulldog, £100,000, and their puppies 25 grand.
Wow.
It's not surprising that people were starting to be mugged for their dogs when they got that much value on the end of the lead. And I then met the RSPCA. I'm one of their patrons, and they said to me that there was this absolute epidemic. It was in 3 forms. It was people being mugged for their dogs, illegal breeding of dogs, keeping them in horrible conditions, and the biggest worry of all was illegally importing dogs from Eastern Europe, in particular from Romania, which has got the highest incidence of rabies in Europe. And we've been rabies free in the UK since 1922. And wow. They're worried there's a real danger of the criminals inadvertently bringing this back in. And I thought there's the criteria for me for writing a new Roy Grace novel is it's got to be something that I'm deeply interested in and something that I'm passionate about enough to want to spend a year of my life working. And I thought, this is something I want to write.
So we saw Roy Grace back on our TV screens recently, superbly played by John Simm. I think it was the best series yet. So tell us, what do you think makes a good detective then? What makes Roy Grace so popular?
It's a really great question. What I think makes a great detective, and that's what I tried to imbue with Roy, and I'm not being entirely frivolous when I say that if I was unlucky enough to have a member of my family murdered, Roy is the detective I would want running the case. And I say that because what I've seen in good detectives, and Roy is based on a detective I met back in 1997, who was a young detective inspector then called Dave Gaylor, in my early days of research with the police. And he just struck me as being somebody who was a kind person, tough, but had a kind heart. He had a high level of emotional intelligence. You know, he believed that when he was on a murder investigation, one of the most important things was to bond with the victim's family for two reasons. One is to give them as much reassurance, almost pastoral care as you could. But the second is, by bonding, you get more out, you learn more, you might learn some more about the victim's background. And detectives care about their murder victims. You know, you often hear of a detective who's got an unsolved murder. Long after retirement, he or she still is doggedly on the case. But the second quality, you've got emotional intelligence, you've got kindness, you've got toughness, but you've also got, they have to be incredibly anal, because every major crime is a huge puzzle, you know, hundreds, sometimes thousands of pieces, painstakingly put together. But, and Dave Gaylor, my real life Roy Grace, had this in spades, I realized. You have two completely opposing character traits. The first is that really detailed anal side. The secondly is real blue sky thinking. And a lot of crimes are solved by a combination of piecing together the pieces and then suddenly getting that flash of inspiration.
And what's your thoughts when you're watching him on TV?
I watch him on television. Every time I see John Simm, my heart flutters in terms of the fact that I've never had a character in a book so well portrayed on television. I had a few previous books before Grace made into series. I was never happy with them. If I'd had to do a photo fit back in 2003 when I was creating Roy Grace, it would have come up with John Simm. And when ITV have been wonderful to work with, and they've just finished shooting the 4th series now, and they're doing 4 episodes in it. And I think if you like the last season, you're going to like these 4 even more. But when they said, what do you think about John Simm to play Roy Grace? And I said, you serious? Bite his hand off.
Yes.
He's just probably the nicest man on earth. He's just wonderful to work with. The first thing he did was, a year before we began filming, was he just sat in the room and read all the then 16 Roy Grace novels to get himself in character.
So Stop Them Dead is the latest novel. It's out now. And are you already thinking about the next novel?
Well, yeah, I've actually got 2 books coming out next year. And I've got one which I think is going to please my readers and hopefully lots of people who've never read a Roy Grace book. I think, you know, Roy Grace has a missing wife, Sandy. When we first meet him in Dead Simple, we learn that his wife, Sandy, who he loved and adored, had vanished off the face of the earth 9 years earlier. And for 9 years, whilst he functions as an effective homicide detective, he's been looking for Sandy. He doesn't know, was she murdered? Did she run off with a lover? Did she have an accident? Did she get kidnapped? And he can't move on with his life. And eventually he does have her declared dead, moves on, marries Cleo, and the stories progress. Anyhow, this standalone, which has come out in May, is called They Thought I Was Dead, Sandy's Story.
Brilliant.
The first 7 chapters are in the back of Stop Them Dead. And it starts with, you know, I've just left my husband, he doesn't know it yet. I'm on my way to Gatwick Airport. And it goes on from there. And it tells her story, what really happened. So I've had a lot of fun with that.
Well, we look forward to that. Now, as a dog lover, what kind of dogs do you have? Laura
and I have a golden doodle and a labradoodle. We have a golden doodle called Wally and the labradoodle called Spooky. And have you got dogs?
Well, to begin with, I actually wasn't a dog lover, but in the last 9 months, things have changed. We have a new addition to the family. She's a gorgeous little Cavapoo called Mia, and she's just become part of our lives. And dogs do that, don't they? They just become such an important part of your family.
They do. And I've always, I joke that, that with Laura and I always say we can never like anybody who doesn't like dogs. And I tend to make my villains people who don't like dogs. Dogs give you unconditional love. You know, they say that, you know, the difference between a cat and a dog is, I think if you went out and murdered somebody, came home, dog will jump up and down and lick you. The cat will look at you and know you've done it.
Well, Peter, it's been great talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us, and the best of luck with the new novel.
Thank you. Really good to talk to you too. Take care, and give my love to that gorgeous Cavapoo.
Right, to finish the show this evening, we're going to have some great local music from a great local band who are making a name for themselves on the Northern Ireland music scene at the moment. They're called Empty Spaces, and they've got a big headlining gig with So N.I. at the Pavilion Bar on the Ormer Road on the 6th of October. So to play us out, here are Empty Spaces, and we'll see you back here same time next week. Bye-bye.
Run away from the devil inside. I'm running there, running like gasoline. I'm running there, running like gasoline.
Welcome to Movie House Cinemas. Popcorn? Yes, please. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the movie. Reclining chairs? Don't mind if I do. Action, thriller, romance, we got it all. Discover the cinema today. Movie House Cinemas, home of the movies.